Oh no, what if everyone found out that you're a virgin? What if the rumors got passed around? Jeffrey would make fun of you and he'll roast you and he'll bully you. Ha! He's a virgin, everyone. You look at Jeffrey and say, so? Adonis sees your nonchalant response to Jeffrey and he nods his head. Well done, young man. I get this question quite often of young men asking me, oh, but Hamza, I'm a virgin. Like, what should I do? Should I tell people? Should I tell the girl that I'm with? And, I feel really embarrassed. There's one problem, Hamza. I've been doing meditation and gratitude, but there's one big problem. I'm still a virgin. So, you only realize how little importance there is to sex when you're actually having it. It's kind of like, bro, I've always gave this analogy. It's like drinking water and having water. I've got water here. I've got like another 5 bottles inside of my room because it's warm as fucking Thailand. When you're a virgin, when you've not been having sex for a while, you're like a guy who's thirsty with no water. And so all you can think about is water. Now here I am. I am nicely hydrated. Here I am with so much water and I'm telling you, water's not that important, bro. You don't need water, bro. So it's a weird dynamic. Hearing the advice from a guy who you can't so much relate to anymore. What I say in this video is objectively the truth. The only person who's gonna judge you truly negatively for being a virgin and not having sex so far is yourself and low quality people. We improve this and we ignore these people and we're sorted. And before I really give you the practical advice, I want to give you my true sort of like unfiltered opinion. I actually was going to make a video on this a few months ago. I didn't end up making one. But the video was going to be titled, Virgin is a Compliment. Not having sex in this modern day, wanting to wait for marriage, wanting to wait till you get like, the person you want to lose it to. That's uncool. And you know what? No. I was gonna like almost insult myself and say, I didn't do that. I'm kind of like a reformed slut. I'm really like, I get criticized a lot from this. Like these Jeffreys, like they make fun of me and they say like, oh well, Hamza says not to play video games, but he keeps having casual sex even though he says it's bad. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like I literally have a sex addiction. I'm not saying this, to like, oh yeah, I have so much sex. I literally have like a problem with the fucking like validation from like people, especially from women, especially from having sex with them. It's like, it's fully a problem for me. That's something I'm trying to overcome. And so you may have seen like posts and videos by me where I've said like, oh, like I had a hookup yesterday with this girl and I don't feel good about it. And I literally see some of these comments from these fucking Jeffreys. Like, I don't know, they keep finding our videos and they're literally like, oh, but Hamza says not to play video games. Well, here he is having sex again. These guys who argue with me so much about like video games, I get so pissed off. If there's one thing that upsets me, it's this argument, because I literally think, bro, like these guys play video games and they cope and they say that it's productive, it increases their fucking, like this is the shit they say, that it increases my hand-eye coordination and my muscle memory, and like the story of video games is so important, like it's storytelling and like all the artistic endeavors. Like shut up the fuck up, bro. They cope so hard, whereas I come and say, okay, casual sex is a problem for me, for some people as well, but like for a lot of people it seems to be okay. For me it's a problem because it really fucks with like my emotions and like my feeling of like spirituality. It really fucks with my head. Okay, a lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people can just have casual sex, like they can just have a hookup and they feel good about it. I used to be like that, but now that I've really started being introspective with it, like I'm not anymore. I really don't like hookups anymore. Really, like I don't want this video to seem like, oh yeah, well like, oh, you're a virgin, but like I'm having too much. I really don't want it to be like that, which it might come across, but I'm telling you, you're on this side, I'm on this side. We're both fucking like down bad, bro. These guys just annoy us so much because they cope so hard with like the instant gratification activities like video games, and like they say the same shit about junk food. Like, oh yeah, but just like pizza's not that bad because if it fits your macro, all this shit, bro. But like Hamza says not to eat pizza, but then he has sex with girls. But first of all, these guys sound like fucking losers. Like they sound like little Jeffreys. But it's a problem for me, man. It can really be a problem. Why am I like this? And why is this relevant to you? Because I truly went down that path of thinking that I was worthy if I was having a lot of sex. Now, I started having sex in a very wholesome way. When I was 19 years old, I lost my virginity to my girlfriend, which is like, it might be quite surprising if you know who I am now, my personality, my problem with casual sex and stuff. But I literally lost my virginity to my first serious girlfriend, who I literally expected to stay with and have children with. That relationship didn't work out. She's a wonderful woman. I haven't even like seen her or really talked to her or thought about her for a while, but like I've got so much respect for her. That was the way to lose my virginity. When I think back to that experience, so I lost my virginity at 19 and I had done very limited I'll speak totally unfiltered, it's gonna be like vulgar. I had literally just done like hand stuff with one girl before this. So age 19, I had literally just kissed girls and like used my hand, and also had girls like use their hands, and never even did like oral sex, right? So the first like oral sex and the first like proper sex that I had ever had was with a girl that I already made her my girlfriend beforehand, and we literally like after the bonding experience, we literally named our children, And the daughter that we were gonna have was gonna be called Araya. And honestly, I think back to this moment, it's been 5-6 years since then, and I'm so incredibly grateful that this was my first starting experience. Let's say I could have lost my virginity a year earlier with a girl that I didn't care about, but you know, for like a year earlier I would have like, you know, had sex with a girl. I would have had some kind of like instant gratification boost to that. You probably would have as well. Do you know what I mean? If you could have already lost your virginity to maybe like a hot girl, you know, not a relationship or anything, but you know, there'd be a nice girl to have sex with, and then you're not a virgin for the last year, that'd be awesome. Now that time has went by and I'm not in that same kind of, you know, insecure mode or anything, I'm so grateful, like, for myself and for my future self, that we can look back and see that younger Hamza had that bonding experience with something so intimate. I'm so grateful. Like, you know, it's not, you know, totally in my mind all the time. Oh yeah, like I wake up like, oh yeah, so glad that I slept with her first and everything. But I'm grateful that I look back and I don't like see the first girl that I ever slept with was like a random girl that I didn't care about. Maybe it was nerves, but there was girls that I could have had sex with and I wanted to. I honestly, like, I would have, right? There was like a couple of instances. I remember that in my foundation, so I was 18 years old. I just went to my first year of university. It was called like foundation year. I was kind of like too dumb to get into the proper university course, so I had to do like an extra year to start with. And I remember that there was this girl from Greece there who was like absolutely gorgeous. And straight away she's flirting with me. She invites me to come out onto a night out, and she texts me, like, I was living at home, so I was one of those guys who like take the train to university, and she texts me like, saying like, oh, but if the train's gonna be a problem, you can sleep over at mine. And I'm like, so I'm so excited. I go, we have like a good night out and everything. I'm a little bit awkward and everything, but we start kissing. We go back to her place. We're lying in bed, and her friend, like our mutual friend, is like lying on the side. It's a girl as well, so she's lying on that side. So me and her are kissing in bed, and then I'm like, you know, trying to like use all my fucking moves, and I said like, right, let's go to the other room. So I grab her by the hand, we go to the other room, lie down, and we're about to like, well, proceeding to sex, bro. And my dick is entirely soft. I'm nervous and I'm anxious. You know, just not really in the flow state, not present, not loving. And you know, she's somewhat like, we didn't do like, you know, sexual stuff, but she's kind of like on top of me, like grinding on me and everything. It doesn't really seem to work. And I just kind of tell her like, oh no, it's not happening. And I felt incredibly bad about that for so long. Like, oh, you know, I could have lost my virginity, and she's so attractive. Like, imagine how different my life would have been if I slept with her and I kept on sleeping with her, and you know, all this. And again, when I look back now, and I just think like, bro, I'm glad I didn't have sex with her. I'm glad. Like, 100%, I'm not gonna cope and lie to you. Like, bro, 100%, I wanted to. 100%, I wanted to. But when I look back now, I kind of realize why that happened, why like my dick didn't get hard with her, why I didn't feel like totally sort of comfortable with her and everything, because there wasn't an emotional attachment there. Like I said before, bro, like we are on opposite sides. If you're watching this, if you're a virgin, we're on opposite sides. And I really like, I've got to constantly reiterate. I know some guys are gonna watch this and be, oh, this guy's like, he's boasting about how much sex he has. Like every time I speak about like something like sex or about money, I do it for like your benefit. I do it because you're watching, so I want to give you some advice from my perspective. But some people just get very insecure and they're like, oh well, if he's talking about sex, that means he's boasting. I'm not boasting. I literally just said in this video that I have like a full-on addiction to like the validation, to like I have an addiction to casuals. It's literally a fucking problem. So I don't say these words to like, you know, to boast and like I really want you to know that I'm having sex, bro, because that's something I'm trying not to. But I say these words because you need to know that the problem you have right now, it's not that big of a problem. It's not that serious. But me saying that doesn't help so much because it feels big and serious in your mind. We attach so much of our identity to our sexual lives, and we live in like this sex sells media era. You know, like you're bombarded with just sexual shit all the time. Every social media app you use, what's gonna pop off? A girl bent over, a girl like looking sexy with like cleavage and everything. You go onto YouTube, you probably see similar things like that. You go onto Twitter, you see like sex scandals. We live in a society that's so obsessed over it, and so you feel like the weird one because you're not really taking part in it. Having experienced all sides, so I have like somewhat of a rare experience right now that other people can't really relate to. I lost my virginity somewhat, like not late, but like average in the UK is 17. I lost it at 19, and I only really had kissed girls till I was 19 years old. I lost it to like my sweetheart, like my girlfriend at the time, so that's quite like a, you know, fulfilling, wholesome experience. But then I was like a total slut, and now I'm kind of reforming from that, and I have experienced like love and beautiful relationships and like, you know, awesome girls that I've connected with. So I fully like, I want you to think about this right now. You are literally hearing the words of a man who's experienced like the full spectrum of like sexual relations, having sex in relationships, with love, having sex with just casual sex with just random girls, doing like party stuff, you know, like sleeping with girls. Like I've literally met minutes before, bro, minutes before. There's been times when like I'll literally be leaving the club, I don't even know her name or anything, I see a girl and within a second I know that I'm sleeping with her. And having experienced all this, I'm telling you right now, sex is best when it is that bonding experience, when there is that mutual fulfillment, when there is that connection. I really, if I could give you some advice right now, do not focus on losing your virginity. Do not even think of yourself as a virgin, because so many guys, bro, I remember I coached this one guy, so I used to do like self-improvement. I don't do it anymore, I'm not trying to tell you anything, but I used to do self-improvement coaching. I remember this one guy saying that his biggest problem was being a virgin. And I literally, like, I was trying to, this was like a group coaching, so me and the other guys were really trying to help him, because the biggest issue with this is your self-identity. Like, imagine this guy, and probably you have the identity of a virgin. That's like the thing that you call yourself. I'm a virgin. Bro, why the fuck are you doing that? If you think that that's like an insult, then stop calling yourself a virgin. Like, if the best case scenario, you'd probably agree, is just not really thinking about this much at all, right? So what I find from guys who haven't had sex yet is that they fixate on this thing of, oh, but you know, I've got to lose my virginity. I'll lose my virginity soon. I'll probably lose my virginity then. But it's like, think less of losing your virginity and think more of connecting with the person that you want to be with. Because this is so positive. It's full of like abundance and love and security. This is full of insecurity. This is full of negativity. It's full of like sort of a sense of self-hatred for yourself, a lack of acceptance for yourself. Now, there is a certain type of person, you may be this person, who's watching this and wants a different pillar of advice, who doesn't care about that bonding experience whatsoever, and quite simply just wants to have sex with girls, but just feels like he can't because he can't attract them. And that, again, it might even be the same person. It might even be that you feel, okay, well, I would have sex, but there's no girls who really I can have it with. And this is where that holistic self-improvement comes in. Because I've talked in a very wholesome way, which is kind of like somewhat different for me, because I'm usually more aggressive and I'm like telling you like, bro, lift some fucking weight, let's get lean, let's get attractive and shit. There is absolute truth. Like, I'm not just gonna give you the sugarcoating, you know, like nice wishy-washy stuff. There is so much truth that to be eligible to have sex, to be eligible to have those connecting partners as a man, okay? For women, it's very different. It's much, much easier, to be honest. But as a man, we need to build ourselves up. We need to increase those parts of us that are attractive towards women. We do this through what's called holistic self-improvement. Now, in this cult, this tribe that you see in front of you, this brotherhood, this is not just a basic ass fucking YouTube channel. You can look at the comments underneath these videos, go over the last few videos. Every other like channel has like, you know, like just, oh yeah, it's a YouTube channel and like, oh, the nice video, bro. You see people literally commenting like, oh yeah, like this video saved my life, boy, and they're helping each other. Like, our cult members, like, this is a cult, our cult members are very, very different. We have the most active engagement of an audience, I believe, like just online right now in terms of percentages. Like, our audience, obviously like there's people with bigger audiences, but our audience, our group, our community, our engagement is incredibly high, like the percentage, the proportion. I don't believe that there's any other like influencer, you know, YouTuber or something who has this level of like engagement, who has this level of influence. Things are very different here. There is a community here for you. And then, bro, there's quite frankly, there's a lot of guys who have the exact same like issue that you do. And I see them in our Discord server, I see them in the comments, and the mindset that they have is very impressive. They're like, yep, like I'm a virgin. In fact, I don't even think about it that often. Of course, it pops into my mind, and of course, you know, sex sells, media and stuff is all in my face and everything, but I'm gonna lose it to the girl that I actually really want to be with. And that, bro, that's a beautiful experience. You may have clicked on this video and expected me to just give you like, you know, the practical, yeah, let's go fuck some girls, bro. And I have done that. And I've made videos just saying like, it's not what it's all made out to be. All these guys online, all these like, you know, like successful, like I'm a high value man, all these guys tell you about like how awesome it is to sleep with these girls, and like, oh, well, I'm sleeping with a model every day, and like, bro, they're telling you this. I'm telling you right now, it's not as good as it's cracked up to be. I think it is important, especially for some guys, to go through that phase of like sleeping with a lot of girls. Some guys just seem to need to do it. And again, that's what holistic self-improvement will get you. Holistic self-improvement is what Adonis preaches. It's where we improve pretty much every pillar of our life that we can, and in terms of attracting women, the most important are those that just make you more conventionally attractive. I will not lie to you and say like, oh yeah, well, you know, just be yourself. I will never fucking lie to you like that. The truth is, you want to be attractive, you've got to look like their fairy tale. You've got to like, have you ever read erotica books, you know, like books which girls read, which is kind of like porn books, and it's about like, they'll literally write descriptions of like the man that they want to fuck them. This is like some vulgar shit, right? Always, what is the same characteristic in the men that they obsess about in these like erotica novels? He's lean and muscular. Always. He's lean, muscular, he's confident, he's strong, he's certain, he's masculine. Always, always, always lean and muscular. You'll never see an erotica like, oh yeah, his big flabby stomach with his unshaved stomach hair. You'll never see one. Oh, his bony arms. Shut the fuck up. You'll never see that. His bulging veins from his bicep, like they protruded out as he like choked her with force, bro. That's the shit that they obsess about. The majority, of course, there's some women who aren't attracted to muscle. Of course there is, bro. And of course, there's got to be some who are like just weirdly attracted to like obese guys and like whatever. But in general, improving your physique is going to be like one of the best ways to increase like your attractiveness, and then also you get way more confident. You meet brothers in the gym, so you grow together. You've got a sense of brotherhood and masculinity. It's a fantastic thing to do. You may have heard this loud ass bird right behind me, bro. You may have heard of this like quote, this joke, which a bunch of like, you know, guys who lift say, with they're like, oh well, no, this is wrong because I started lifting to get girls, but I only started getting guys, bro. That's total fucking bullshit. Ask any guy who's built a good aesthetic physique, right? There's a difference. A lot of guys go to the gym and they do weightlifting and they try and get big as possible, strong as possible. Like, you know, fucking 3 rep sets and 5, all this shit, right? Oh, big, strong, I'm a weightlifter. They lift for strength. They don't have an attractive physique and they're like, oh, well, why aren't any girls complimenting me? Because they're not attractive, because they don't have aesthetic physiques. The idea, if you want to be attractive to women, you need what's called an aesthetic physique. This is scientific shit, but I'll give you the bro science. Essentially, you want your upper body to be shaped like a V, like this. See how my shoulders are here and my waist goes like inwards there? That's incredibly attractive. That does to a woman what a woman's hourglass shape does to us. So you know, bro, you automatically notice a woman who has this shape the same way a woman automatically notices a guy who has this shape. It's fully evolutionary. It's not something that you're consciously thinking like, oh my god, she's got a hip to waist ratio of 1.6. We're not thinking that. It's just straight away, if she's got that hourglass shape, we think she's attractive. Straight away, if you've got that V-line shape, she thinks you're attractive. Of course, you could fuck it up. You could say some stupid shit. You could be a weirdo, but generally, that gets your foot through the door. It's the most important thing that you can do. That's some practical advice if you want to lose your virginity and you want to like meet more women ASAP. But I think you're way better off going with this mindset of like not even thinking, oh yeah, well, I'm a virgin or anything. It's such a toxic thing to constantly keep labeling yourself with, because automatically it has like a negative connotation, because we think, okay, sex is so awesome, it's so important, everyone, it's so important, so positive, make sure I have lots of sex. If you're then saying, oh well, I'm a virgin, then you're automatically saying, yep, I'm a bad person, I'm less than, I'm not worthy, so there's something wrong with me. You know what, the young man that I respect the most, that I think is the best man that I've met so far, his name is Chris. He's one of my best friends, and I trained with him in the gym for like 6 months straight. Like honestly, best time of my life, fucking sick guy. And he's like a man of God, he's a man of faith. He became like a very, very, very good friend of mine. We literally, like, imagine the vibe of like, we're literally waking up and he's already outside of your house, we're ready for the gym. And we're like, he's the one guy where when we're in a car, I feel so like comfortable and confident that I'm literally rapping and singing. Like I don't do that next to people, but I'm literally fucking like with aggression. Like my rap songs that I listen to are aggressive. We're in the car and I'm like fully rapping to them and he's encouraging me and he's hyping me up and shit. Like that's the level of like brotherhood we've gotten. He's the guy that I respect the most, and guess what? He has a very, very, very low body count. Like a body count sounds a bit vulgar, but he hasn't slept with many girls at all. I won't tell you the exact number for like privacy reasons and stuff, but like just I've not asked him about this video, so I don't want to say anything like that he might feel a bit uncomfortable about, because again, like he's that kind of guy where he's like somewhat, you know, private, and like he is like a godly man. He has a very low body count. I respect him heavily for that. There is actually one big reason why I respect him even more for this, because he could have way higher. This is what's very important. I don't want to just sugarcoat, you know, the advice I give here and be really soft and say, oh, you know, like being a virgin is a good thing. There is one absolute truth that we do have to go through, and it might hurt you a little bit and it might change your mindset. Not having sex yet is not a problem at all if you could have. This is what you need to really, really, really be humble and have humility and be honest with, be authentic with. If you are involuntarily celibate, what that means is you are a virgin who can't have sex because girls don't want to have sex with you. That then is probably, that's a problem. We'll be totally honest, I'm going to help you. That's a problem. Because that then, the thing is, I can tell you all this, yo, you know, like being a virgin's okay and everything, but you're going to feel like fucking shit if you're in this group of guys who want to have sex, but no girls want to have sex with them. Best case scenario, you probably will have sex soon. You're not like, you know, thinking about it so much when you meet the right girl for enough. And girls do want to have sex with you. So with my friend Chris, bro, he's an attractive guy. He's quite tall, he's muscular. He's a husband. He literally is like a husband. Very, very like, and he's sexy as fuck, bro. Like his body's fucking good. He's got a V-line. He's got like literally the best V-line, you know, next to your abs. The best V-line that I've seen in a guy, like the thick V-line, bro. And so he can get girls. I remember like I downloaded Tinder and he kind of like did it to kind of like we spoke about this later, but he kind of did it to like fit in. He'd never use this stuff usually, but he downloaded Tinder. And within like seconds, he already had like 99 plus. You know, Tinder shows you like how many girls have liked you, and if you pay for it, you can see like who they are. Obviously, he didn't pay for it, but he literally saw like 99 plus within like an hour or something, which shows you, okay, 99 or 100 girls have liked his profile already, which is fucking huge, right? And so he can get girls. He chooses not to. That is incredibly like high value. That'd be the ultimate position to be in, where you may be a virgin, you may not have got, you know, such a huge body count, but you could, because you're still like a man who's attractive, a man who's confident, a man who's successful. So if you're like that, fantastic. Now, if you're not like that, this is where I want to go a little bit deeper. If you're in part of the group where you are a virgin, you've not had sex, and pretty much the real reason, unfiltered, is because girls don't want to have sex with you. This is where it gets very, very, very like negative in a young man's mind. Because if you really want to, you're desperately trying, you're messaging all these girls on Tinder, you're being active on like Instagram and everything, but no girls seem to be down to meet you. That's when you start like really fucking up your life. You really get this like huge like negative perception of yourself. The answer's simple. What do you think you should do in this situation? What do you honestly think would be the most effective? You take a step back from the pursuit of pussy. You take a step back from, you know, vigorously messaging all these girls on Tinder and sending them dick pics on Snapchat and messaging like, you know, going onto Instagram and searching for the location of the nearby bars and clubs and like following the girls there. And I used to do that shit, bro. You take a step back from that, and instead you focus entirely on developing yourself and almost brainwashing yourself to be more fulfilled and say, yep, I'm waiting. Being a virgin isn't even a problem. I'm not even going to see myself as a virgin anymore. I'm waiting because I want the woman that I have sex with to be right. Brainwash yourself. Make yourself believe that that's the truth, because it's not. Let's be honest. If you're in this like group of guys, bro, you'd fuck like a 3 out of 10 that you don't even care about, right? You probably would. But what if you can, like, your power of your beliefs is very strong, so we're going to hack into that. What if you brainwash yourself to make yourself believe you're more like Chris and say, okay, you know what? I'm an awesome guy, but I'm going to wait up until I meet the right girl. I'm going to wait up until I have like an emotional connection with her, because if it's going to be my first time, that's really special, and I don't just want to give that away to some random girl who I don't like, who probably doesn't even like me that much. So you've taken a step back from the pursuit of, you know, messaging all these girls. You're now brainwashing yourself to think, okay, well, I'm gonna, you know, wait till the right girl comes, and now you're focused on that holistic self-improvement, building yourself up to be the man who looks attractive, who's successful, who's confident. Suddenly your life has been transformed. If you are part of that group of guys who, you know, really want to have sex, but it seems like girls don't want to have sex with you, it's so easy for you to watch this video, be hyped up by it, and then just suddenly say, yep, it wouldn't work for me, so I'll have sex faster if I just message loads of girls anyway. You must reframe your mindset about not having sex yet. That's the biggest part of this puzzle, is reframing your mindset to not see it as something that quickly needs to be fixed, and instead see it as something that is important to you, that you don't just want to like lose to the first girl, because that's like that. I know that your mindset might be, okay, well, if I lose it to the first girl, then after that I could have higher standards. It probably is, isn't it? Oh, well, if I do it as fast as possible, then, you know, then I'll be okay, then I'll be fine, then I can relax. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. Please believe me that that's so the truth. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you start off this chapter, this like pillar of your life, which is so important, sex and dating, and you start that off with this intention of like, oh yeah, well, I don't give a shit about her, but, you know, the first one, but then I promise after that I'll get really serious and high quality, bro, it's not gonna happen. You don't realize how important your actions here are gonna be, but you will literally set like your future line. Of course you could change when you're older and everything, but you're literally gonna set like this trajectory for your future, which normalizes sex and dating with low standards. You do not want to be that guy. That's so like, it's so embarrassing, and it's so like emotionally like draining. You're starting this like pillar, this chapter of your life. Start it well. Start it with high standards. Start it with the woman that you care about. Start it with the woman that you actually want to have this emotional connection with. Chances are, if you watch, bro, especially if you watch porn, especially if you like, you know, you're into like modern media and all this shit, bro, you have this different view on sex where it's entirely based on like ego validation, attention, and pleasure. I promise you right now that the sex that you have with a woman that you actually care about is quite literally like infinitely better. You don't like, you can ask some guys this, you don't feel good if you have sex with a girl you don't like. You don't feel good after it, and you might be thinking, oh well, you know, I've had sex, so, you know, the problem solved, and then I can again, like, you know, I can fix it after that. Like, it won't work. It's so important for you to start this chapter of your life in the right way. Start as you mean to go on. If that means waiting another 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, bro, so the time's gonna go by anyway. You won't feel good sleeping with girls that you don't like. I know that sounds like common sense, but I need to say it, especially for younger Hamza. You won't feel good for having sex being so intimate with girls that you don't like. The reason why you would do that is because you place this weird value on sex where you think, oh yeah, well, sex equals I am worthy. Sex equals I am a good person. Sex equals me good. Do not allow, like, we know how messed up modern society is. Do not allow, like, modern society and all, like, the media around you to influence something that's so, like it's supposed to be sacred and so intimate. And I know that feels weird coming from a guy who, like, bro, quite frankly, like, I don't know my fucking body count. If you've just heard me say that and you're like, oh my god, you know, that's sick, like, what a legend, bro, that's not a good thing. That's really not, like, I am ashamed to say that. I don't know how many girls that I've slept with. That's not good. That is not good. You don't realize, like, how important and, like, intimate this part of your life is, and to share that with someone that you don't like one of the most, like, it's the most recent experience that I've had. It was literally just here, and we hook up. And, like, it was so fucking different, man. Like, there's no disrespect to this girl that I was with, but, you know, there was just no emotional connection. It was after a night out and everything. And the first thing that happens after, like, when we get into bed is both of us get onto opposite sides of the bed. And I couldn't help but think about, like, the women that I really care about, the women I've really connected with, the most, like, recent woman that, like, I'm in love with. And, like, after we would have sex, I would hold her, like, we couldn't be closer. I would hold her so closely and, like, literally kiss her, like, 100, like, 500 times over the nighttime. And to think that, like, I've gave up an experience like that to have, like, oh, but, like, you know, casual sex and a hookup, so good for the validation. Oh, you know, my boys are like hype up. Oh, did you sleep with a girl yesterday? How far will you go for the validation of other people? Will you destroy your own soul for it? I hope that you can take my learning lessons from this video. You can subscribe to our channel if you want to. Welcome to the cult. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.